Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Duke Silver. Today we are playing Gwen. So we're going to start with a Happy Little Tree, and we're not going to knighthood it, as I feel like knighthooding Happy Little Tree is it's okay, but like you need to find the payoffs immediately. Like you need to find Darkwood Creeper basically immediately, or be able to find Heartwood Guardian with some consistency, and I think that's just generally not the case. So that's why I'm not going to opt for that there. Briefly considered locking for this Genie's Wish because we have the Cinderella, but the rest of the shop is just a little bit too mediocre. If there was a good shop there, then I'd consider it, but here we just let it slide. Alright, we got a Brave Princess on 3.0, which we are going to take. We do need to cast a spell, though. So the gold works out a little bit awkwardly here, because, I mean, we want to cast the For Glory, but, pretty low chance we actually win the fight. But I mean, just to get the quest progress on Cindy, I think it's still worth it. And we're gonna trade this mouse for a baby root, because I think that's gonna give our front two characters a better chance to value trade here. And yeah, we lose the fight, but it's not by a ton. Although the opponent does get double Brave Princess triggers there, which is a little bit unfortunate. We pick up a Lucky and a Mummy here, and we're gonna throw a Candy Cannon onto them. There's a pretty big Sherwood Sure Shot over there. An 811 already is really large. And yeah, we're gonna take a big chunk of damage here. We get the golden Mim damage, so we're down to 22 on 3.2 here, which is definitely not a great spot to be in. We do have a couple pairs in the shop, but we definitely need to get a little bit lucky to get out of this one. We're gonna sell the Sure Shot. It's only a 2-1, and then we roll, hoping to hit a spell, and we do. And we find a level 2 treasure. Now, Ring of Regeneration is a consideration there, but I think it's Monster Manual just because we have the Mummy, and I think that's just gonna go a little bit farther. All right, opponent has a relatively well set up board here, and yeah, we hit exactly the wrong thing at the end there, knocking or summoning a bunch of sheep that end up dealing us more damage than we would have taken normally. So we are down to 14. I took the Crystal Ball immediately there on the Brave Princess triple, just because like we had the level 3 triple in the shop. So if that was Hat, then we could kind of go off to the races with Hat Ball. And since we're hemorrhaging life so badly, we're just going to jam this Arthur. We've already got 2 Golden Royals, so we're just going to jam the Knighthood on it just to kind of stem the bleeding a little bit. Generally, it's not like my favorite thing to do with Gwen, is Knighthood Arthur, but I mean, it is effective. Unfortunately, we sold down for a Juliet, and then immediately they snipe our Romeo. But the stats we gain from this Golden Arthur is more than enough for us to take down the rest of that combat anyhow, so no big loss there. And again, we're kind of hemorrhaging here. We do have a treasure map though, so if we can find just another Juliet, we can get a level 6 treasure, which should help us stabilize. Level 6 treasures are very good at stabilizing you. And this Curse King has a Berestein plus an Echo Wood already here on 4.1. So that is definitely concerning. Fortunately, we win this combat pretty handily. Our Lucky nets us a free Medusa here. We're not going to take the second Medusa, just because like investing in another pair isn't really what we want to do. And we get rewarded by not taking it with our level 6 treasure. And we're going to take Wand here. Singing Sword was okay, but it doesn't really stabilize us. Because like just adding a bunch of power to your front line, if you don't have like multiple characters or ways to kind of abuse that extra power, doesn't really do a lot. Yeah, we take another hit there, so we're down to 6. So definitely in desperation mode. Fortunately, we have the ghost fight. And as I was saying, the other option was Mimic, and Mimic Crystal Ball just isn't all that effective. So we went for the Wand, hoping for like double combat spells. And there's definitely a world where actually we kind of messed up this turn. We should have taken the Aeon first, but I went for the Lancelot just because I saw that we could trigger the quest this turn. But getting Aeon online would have been a far better choice. But we are gonna lock it for next turn anyhow, because I mean Aeon, that's gonna be our that's going to be our spell cost reduction. Fortunately, this ghost isn't particularly strong. We get our level 5 treasure now. Also, now Arthur is a golden royal, Lancelot is a golden royal as well. We're going to take the Drax Saber over this Sword of Fire and Ice. I think with the relative strength of our golden units, we're going to be able to get more stats out of Drax Saber in this spot. Normally, I like Sophie a little bit better. Alright, so we get to pick up this Aeon, and now we can cast. We're just going to cast as many spells as possible and try and get this Aeon Slay. Take a roll there, and another roll, and there's a shard. We're gonna take this Arthur triple first. Hope for Moonsong Horn, which we do not find. We're gonna cast our first shard here, which is gonna turn our Brave Princess into a Spellweaver, which is perfect. And then we're gonna cast the other shard on our Lancelot, hoping for, you guessed it, Aeon, and we get it. So yeah, we just get a random golden Aeon for this turn. So if we get this Slay with this Aeon, who has a bunch of extra health, so they can possibly survive an attack even. And they attack directly into our Aeon and get to go first, but our Aeon survives because of those extra stats. And we get to attack and slay and get our spell cost reduction. And now, yeah, we went from really struggling to being in a really good spot. Now that we've got the spell cost reduction, we've got Wand, we got Ball, we've got basically everything we could ever want at this point. I considered taking the Spellweaver, but I figured I would rather roll for spells and just like really try and pump up what we have here. Like the size of our board is actually pretty reasonable. We got a kidnap off of a random Genie's Wish the turn we bought Aeon. So the fact that we've got this golden familiar now scaling as well is fantastic. We did opt to get this second Aeon though, which I mean I'm not sure if that's better than the Spellweaver, so that might have been a mistake. I mean it's a pretty big investment, but getting a second golden Aeon I think is going to be very good in case we just like as a backup for our regular golden Aeon. And our positioning is off a little bit there. We're trying to cast spells a little bit too far into the turn, and yeah, we make very short work of this Loki, bring them from second place down to nothing. So yeah, knocking out one of the top boards like that, it feels very good. It makes us feel very strong, even with our bad positioning there. And yeah, now we just cast as many spells as possible here. And now that we're on level 6, basically if we see Pigomorph, we're not going to be screwing around a little bit or at all or as much. We're not gonna spend too much time screwing around, is what I'm saying. Is if we see Pigomorph, we're gonna cast it, and yeah, we're just gonna try and win these fights. Oftentimes with these builds, I would just skip Pigomorph here to try and cast more spells. But the fact that we can't afford to take any losses here means that I'm not gonna screw around. We're just gonna cast the Pigomorph. We're gonna win through double Pigomorph, and this is not particularly strong, not a particularly strong board. So fortunately for us, we make very short work of this Horseman. It looks like they were really leaning on those Doom Breaths, and yeah, our spell casting just adds up super quickly, and we kind of dominate there. So yeah, I feel like this board has really gone from 0 to 100 super fast here. And again, we're not going to mess around too much. We're just going to cast the double Pigomorph on top board here, and we're gonna lock this targeted spell though. It lets us start our spell chain immediately. We got our 2 Pigomorphs, pretty good Pigomorphs too. We hit the Burnbeard and the Robin Wood, probably the 2 most threatening things on the board. So really fortunate for us there. But I mean, if any board's gonna beat us, it's gonna be a tree board. So without the double Pigomorph, like, I'm not entirely sure how we stack up there. And there's another Pigomorph. We're gonna cast all the spells we can first, but I think we are just gonna fire off this double Pigomorph again. Again, we're just not gonna mess around. We're gonna try and get these, try and make sure we don't lose any fights, and just like really not chance it. Although we're up to 12 HP, we could lose a fight and survive now that we've taken some of those health pots. We're gonna lock this TLK though. We got a golden Boom Hilda as well as a golden Empress P here on this turn, so pretty good. We don't get to take out their more effective characters this time, but they have added a Phoenix Feather over there, so that's worth noting. Although it's not nearly enough to compete with us, but it does keep them alive for a turn for sure. All right, we TLK into an enormous Scion of the Storm, so that is a huge pickup for us. There's a shard, but nothing cheap enough that I want to buy to start casting spells with it. So we just roll past it, find a stone skin. Unfortunately, we don't really have any great targets for a knighthood. If we'd had like a regular Scion, I would probably burn that knighthood there. We find a Drink Me Potion though, which is fantastic. We get to keep casting spells here. Cast up start sending the Wizard's Familiar up the chain. I'm gonna make use of all those extra stats, and we just roll down until we can find something to cast. And yeah, we don't quite get there. And it looks like this opponent has found another triple and has added a Pandora's box. So they're really hoping to just survive here. And we didn't get the Pigomorph, so it's a little bit closer. And by a little bit closer, I mean like the Scion was such a huge upgrade that it kind of made the difference between the double Pigomorph and whatnot. So, or between the double Pigomorph and not having it there, just the sheer amount of stats being able to tank those huge trees. Yeah, just allowed our ranged characters to go to work, and yeah, we get the win rather handily there. So yeah, we drop extremely low, but we hit the power spikes that we needed to. We get some really fortunate shards there, turning our Brave Princess into a huge Spellweaver, and then turning our Lancelot into the Golden Aeon is yeah, just very fortunate. But yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you run hot, right? But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to, I've been streaming every day this year so far. I'm on day 7 today. Yeah, if you wanna come and hang out with me live, my Twitch will be in the description as well as the pinned comment. And yeah, I would love to see you over there. It's a good time. We got a good group of people that consistently come and hang out. And yeah, it's just a very chill vibe over there. And yeah, we've been playing some Rogue Legacy too. I recently finished all the Danger 5 runs on Brotato, so yeah, and I would love to hear some suggestions for games that I could play on stream and potentially on the channel. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.